Hello everybody, welcome to the Masak with Geeta 15-day cooking challenge. And today I'm going to teach you a beautiful recipe. As we get closer to Shawwal, I am keen to do some of the festive dishes which I have seen all over the Middle East and in North Africa. I wanted to do something different for you, which I think is also very festive and has got beautiful flavors. Now this is what I call and what I saw when I was in Morocco. So this is a Moroccan lamb tagine recipe. The tagine is a cooking vessel which is used very often in Morocco for slow cooking. So today I am going to do my own variation of this using my cooking story cookware, but we will be serving it in the tagine. Okay, so let me show you my version of it. So the essential part about making this tagine is the spices that go into it. Now, in Morocco, there is a spice called ras al hanout, and ras al hanout we can easily recreate here, and this is what I'm going to attempt to do. So let's look at all the different spices that are going to go into this. Alright, now I'm going to start with the spices where we need more. This is ginger, so you need 2 tablespoons of ginger, and next is 2 teaspoons of cardamom. This makes it quite strong. 2 teaspoons of mace. The next spice is allspice. Now allspice is available at the Middle Eastern shops, so do try and get them there. Now it's 2 teaspoons of all these spices. Alright, okay, so these are the spices that you will need, about 1 teaspoon of each. Okay, so I have actually put them here so that it's easier for you. And the 2 teaspoons was the earlier ones, 1 teaspoon, and then we have some which is just a 1/4 teaspoon. For example, alright, let me show you what are the spices here. You have turmeric, you have 1 teaspoon, coriander powder 1 teaspoon, cayenne pepper 1 teaspoon, and then we want 1/4 teaspoon of clove powder and aniseed powder. Alright, aniseed powder is also available at Indian stores. Okay, and one more is the salt. We need a little bit of salt in this mixture as well, and a little bit of pepper, good pepper. Okay, that's enough. And to this I am going to add some beautiful saffron. You know saffron, right? It's one of the spices used extensively in all the Middle Eastern and North African tagines, and just a little bit because it is quite intense and it gives you a beautiful flavor. So I put that in. Lovely. I love saffron. Now we're going to mix it all together with some yogurt and honey. Now when I say honey, I want you to use proper raw honey, okay? And because this is going to make a difference to the taste as well. So if you have a little bit of difficulty mixing that, you can add a little bit of water. So I am using lamb down here, but you can also use beef if you want. Okay, but I think that lamb really goes well with this. So you can imagine what it's going to taste like as well. Okay, so the meat looks wonderful. And this marinade, I mean the best if this lamb is marinated for at least 4 hours, 2 to 4 hours minimum. But if you do it overnight, it will definitely be better. Okay, because what we want is for it to really tenderize as much as possible, and the combination of the honey and the yogurt is going to do that for us. Okay, so here's the meat that we have been marinating overnight in the freezer, and I am using the Langan to do this. This Langan pot is really versatile, and the reason why I actually want to use this is because in the fridge the smells are kept within that. Okay, it doesn't come out, and this is really a strong paste, so I want something which is really airtight so that it keeps properly in its own container, and I think this does the job well. So now we're going to start our cooking, and today I'm using again my Cooking Stories Endo pot. Now this is one pot which I really love because it is able to be on the stove as well as in the oven. So I've already heated up my oven to 180 degrees centigrade because I'm going to start the cooking here, but I want to finish cooking in the oven. And the reason for that is that meat, especially lamb, right, gets really beautifully tender when you cook it for long. Remember, these are all pots which really are good for slow cooking. So slow cooking, you need to do part of it on the stove and part in the oven. So now we're going to start by browning the meat. All right, just a little bit of oil at the first. Okay, so now the meat is nicely browned, and we are going to put in a little bit more oil. Okay, so now we put in the onions. And we're going to put in some water. I like to cook this on the stove for about an hour first, and then I'm going to finish it in the oven for the next 30 to 40 minutes. So now our lamb has been cooking for 1 hour, and I tell you, the smells are just gorgeous, you know. So what we're going to do is to put it inside the oven to further cook and become even more tender. But before you do that, remember that, you know, this pot has got these covers where I can actually take them off to put into the oven. Just remember to take them off, and then you can cook again in the oven for another at least 30 to 40 minutes on a very slow fire. So now that the lamb is in the oven cooking away, we're going to make a nice sauce which we are going to put over on the lamb on the day of serving in the tagine. Okay, so this is how we make this sauce. So first of all, we need some water, and we really want to put an amount that is enough. So the next thing that's going in is some sugar. We are using a combination of white sugar as well as flour sugar, which is coconut sugar. Then we are going to put some apricots, putting in some golden raisins as well. And I'm going to switch on the fire first. These are the dates which I'm going to put in a bit later, as otherwise they will break down too much. Alright, we just want them to retain their shape but be slightly softer. So we're going to put in some cinnamon as well. Cinnamon is always a spice that is used a lot in Morocco. So we're going to let this cook down. So bring the fire back to medium. Let it now reduce by itself. And in the meantime, I'd like to say a little bit about this beautiful pot. If you can see that it is actually made of ceramic, very hardy, because even this can go into the oven if need be. Alright, so the beautiful part about this, when you go into the oven, is that you can actually remove this handle and then put it in the oven if you need to leave it there for a while. Okay, so normally when I am making any sort of liquid as well, I take this off, and only when I want to take it off, then I put it back here. So now the sauce has cooked down quite a bit, and we're just going to put in the dates, the last few things, and let it cook down just a few more minutes until it's it just sort of coats the spoon. So the next step is to make the almonds. Now the almonds are also going to go on the top of the tagine when we plate the whole thing. So first we have to fry these almonds with some very light oil, and I'm using grapeseed oil, okay, to do that. Put in these peeled almonds and let them get a little bit golden brown, okay, golden brown. That beautiful sauce, it has really boiled down and reduced so nicely. And we're going to add it to the lamb. Good morning. So last night we finished making the Moroccan lamb, and I have actually now stored it in the fridge because keeping them overnight, really helps to improve the flavor. And I always believe that it makes it so much easier because it's a long recipe, so we really want to let the flavors develop after we have cooked it. Today, with the Moroccan lamb, we're making a Moroccan flavored couscous with quite a few spices that go into it. So couscous is generally thought to be a grain, but that's actually not what it is. It's actually a pasta, semolina based pasta, and quite flavorless on its own. It usually takes on the flavors of whatever else you put on it. So this particular couscous starts with the veggies. I'm just oiling the pan because we're going to bake the vegetables in the oven. Alright, basically the vegetables that I am using here are capsicum and of all colors, as well as some zucchini, right? Because zucchini really is nice when it is baked. And also here some onions, okay? Now I'm going to put some oil over it, just a little bit of olive oil. So add a bit of salt just for flavoring. Mix it all up. I'm going to use my hands, they're clean, okay, so that everything gets properly sauteed. And now we put this in the oven for just about 5-6 minutes on 180 degrees, not more than that. We just want them a little toasted. Here we go, the vegetables are all done. They look nice and toasted, right? So this is what we're going to keep these aside for a while now, while we prepare the couscous itself. So now we're going to prepare the couscous, and first we start with the spices and herbs that are going to go in. So first of all, we have the oil, we have lemon juice, we have carrots, we have parsley, we have mint, and we have some raisins. Okay, and then for the spices, we have coriander powder, we have turmeric powder, we have cumin powder, of course, and black pepper, and some cinnamon, which is always a requirement in Middle Eastern cooking. Alright, now remember, this is instant couscous, and with instant couscous, you put the couscous in last with the water and basically cover it up. So I'm going to show you how to do that straight away, okay? So first we start with the oil and lemon juice that goes into, and next I'm putting in all the spices that I mentioned just now, okay? All of it can go inside, mix it up. And I'm going to add a bit of salt here as well. To that, we are going to add the couscous and the raisins. Now I'm going to add the water, and it's beautiful because I'm actually using the cookware for my cooking story to do this. This is the detachable one with the handle, so we can just pour the water straight in. I've already measured the amount down here. Alright, so pour it all in. The couscous will increase by itself and cook by itself in this, and cover it with some Glad wrap. So we keep this couscous for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will come and fluff it up again, okay? Alright, so in the meantime, I am now going to show you the lamb and how to prepare the last steps of the lamb. So these are the Neo-Vent containers that I use for my cooking story again. They are very good. They store the stuff nicely, and also, you know, you can actually take out all the air, everything, and then only close it up, so it's perfectly airtight. Okay, so here is also the apricot sauce which we made yesterday in the pan, remember, and it has already thickened down and everything. So now what we're going to do is to mix the lamb and the apricot sauce up together, and we're going to do this in a tagine. So the tagine is a beautiful Moroccan cooking vessel where it actually cooks the meat on a very slow fire. So it's slow cooking, and the original way of cooking this Moroccan tagine. Now, because for me, I am not so sure whether my tagine can take the long cooking. I've loved this vessel and I just want to protect it. So I prefer to just do the last part of the cooking in the vessel. Or if you are serving it like this, then of course you will do the heat up here and serve the whole thing and open it up at the table like this. It looks so beautiful. Alright, now for those of you who don't have a tagine, I am just going to, you can just heat it up normally in one of the My Cooking Story slow cook pans. Heat it up on a slow fire, and then you can serve it in a dish which I am going to show you, which is also from My Cooking Story. So we're going to add this, and then we are also going to add the apricot mixture. Now, doesn't that look delicious? So you can add a little bit of water just so that, you know, if you are heating it up in this, and keep it aside on a very low fire. Now you put on the cover and let it continue cooking for a while. So now we are going to put the couscous. Alright, we're going to put all the condiments for the couscous. We have the carrots, we have the mint, and we have the coriander and parsley. So now we mix it up. See, beautiful yellow couscous, nicely done. Wow, nice colors, right? We now put in the roasted veggies. Oh, that looks gorgeous. So this is where I want to show you this dish, which is part of the range of My Cooking Story. This is a beautiful dish for serving because you can actually serve the lamb together with the couscous on two different sides. Now this really is economical. It saves space if you have a lot of things at the table. And the beautiful part about it is these can even be put in the oven. So this can be removed. Alright, so when you want to heat it up in the oven, this also can go into the oven. Very, very nice dish. Nicely plated, segmented like this, so that you can actually serve two things at a time. Okay, so now we're going to put the toppings in for the couscous. It's going to be some almonds, nibbed almonds, and some beautiful pomegranate seeds. And for the lamb, I'm going to put in some coriander, so alright everybody, here we got it, the Moroccan lamb tagine with beautiful Moroccan couscous as well. Now this is something everybody is going to enjoy, so have a great shawal. Lovely.